Uh, See, that was hard because what I want to do is I want to move my head. Pay attention to that. Hey, go. Well,
Hey, everybody, this is Dr. Perry from Stop Chasing Pain. Thank you so much for tuning in to my YouTube channel and the video today. We're going to talk more about the tongue. A lot of you really enjoyed my prior videos on working with the tongue because you've had such wonderful success and changes with your body. And during this video, take a look up at the top because I'm going to put links to those prior videos just in case you haven't seen them. And when you combine those videos with this one on tongue isometrics, I'm hoping to make some really nice changes for you and helping you feel better in pain and discomfort in your head, neck, face, headaches, the whole body. Honestly, you're about ready to see an excerpt from one of the courses that I teach called Tongue Mojo. It's a full 8-hour course. This is going to go over tongue isometrics. Now, first of all, most people don't even pay attention to the tongue when it comes to having musculoskeletal pain. And that's unfortunate because the tongue is a huge player in the whole body because of how much of a powerhouse it is in neurology overall. There's a lot of brain space devoted to the function of your tongue. Now, your tongue has muscles. Intrinsic, which means inside, so you can do all these funky shapes with it, and then extrinsic, outside, so you can actually move it in different directions. With the isometrics here, you're going to see me demonstrating ones where you're going to go up, called elevation, down, known as depression, and then going sideways, which is a lateral type of movement. And I'm going to go over a few key things that I want you to pay attention to when you do this movement. It's probably one of the most powerful things you can do to make a shift in your whole body and how it feels. I think you're really going to enjoy it. And make sure you watch the first part of the video as well before you get to the actual video instructions. But you can see some timestamps if you want to skip forward. But I want you to watch that because it's going to link to a research study that we talk about showing you how working with the tongue can make a huge difference in your body in so many different, unique ways that you might not have thought of. Okay, so let's move on into a little snippet before you get into the excerpt from the course, and then we'll get you moving on to your tongue. Okay, let's take a look at tongue isometrics. These may help you if you have head, neck, jaw, body pain. Few things that I want you to pay attention to when you do these movements. They're going to be way more challenging than you might expect, okay? Number one, don't stop breathing when you do the isometrics. And really pay attention to this one because I guarantee you, most of you will stop breathing. If that happens, that means because it's too challenging for you, right? You need to be able to breathe comfortably in and out through your nose while you're doing these. If you cannot do an isometric and be able to breathe normally at the same time in and out through your nose, you need to lighten up the amount of pressure that you're doing or the amount of time that you're doing the isometrics, okay? Because that just means it's too much for your body to do, and then you're struggling to breathe. So definitely pay attention to that one. Don't use your neck when you're doing these movements. You need to use your tongue. What's going to happen is that when you have a weakness in your tongue, you're going to compensate by trying to move your head more, either turn it left or turn it right, or look up and look down. I don't want you to do that. Okay. You want to isolate the tongue itself. So that's why it's good if you're looking at yourself in a mirror when you do these, so you can catch the neck moving. Don't use the jaw. So when you move your tongue left and right for an isometric, make sure that you don't deviate, which means really shift your jaw to a side to try to make it stronger, because it's not isolating the tongue. So what you'll see in the video and what you may want to try is you can keep a finger on your chin right here, so you can monitor when you're doing the tongue exercises such to the side that you don't shift your jaw off and over, because we don't want to compensate with the jaw and we don't want you to get any jaw pain or issues. Don't go too hard. The isometrics don't have to be hashtag beast mode monster, give it all you got, pain is weak, this leaving the body kind of crap. It's not about that. It's by being intentional, and focused on the isometrics. No pain anywhere. If you have pain anywhere when you do this, I want you to stop, try to go lighter, change a different direction, but nothing should hurt. You can use a pencil, a finger, a spoon. You're going to see me using a tongue depressor in this one that you can easily get from Amazon, but you can use just about anything. Just make sure you sanitize it first. And I want you to try to shoot for 5 rounds of up, down, right, left of 5-second isometrics each time you do a round, every day for a week. See what kind of changes that makes and how you feel. Okay, let's get into it.
We're going to do isometrics where we're trying to elevate the tongue up. We're going to try to depress the tongue down, and we're going to try to do the tongue side to side, which are going to mimic what we call jaw breakers later. And remember, that's the one that can be an issue for you if you have an issue with the hypoglossal nerve from side to side. So you really have to pay attention to the strength of side to side here when we do this one, when I make the screen bigger, and really, really pay attention to this. As if you have a weakness in your tongue, particularly to the side, you're really going to want to compensate in your neck. And you're going to feel tension hit you here in the neck somewhere or in your jaw. Because you're gonna have to take that energy, that force has got to be transferred somewhere if you don't have the isometric strength in the tongue. So that's where I don't want you to hard style this where you're pressing into the tongue. I'm gonna show you a tongue depressor, but you can use your finger, you can use a spoon, you can use anything that you can press against. It's not about hard as you can. That's not the point. It's about holding that isometrics. And I like for you to go up, down, left, right, 5 times, holding each one about 5 seconds. Right now, don't do it yet. The reason this is important, and I found this article very recently because it's a very recent research study. Pardon me, I'm going to have to clear my. Thank you. That's the title of the research article. Just type that in Google. It'll show up on PubMed. The effect of isometric lifting exercise on oral function, physical body function, and even body composition from body fat in community dwelling older individuals. So I found this quite fascinating because the older population are the ones that suffer immensely from falls, traumatic falls, and that decreases their survival rate substantially. So I forget the stat, but I think it's like from a fall, you have a 40% greater chance of dying within the next year because of a fall. It's substantial. And they found the results for this were so freaking cool, man. I kind of broke it apart here, but here's what they found. After the intervention, oral function increased significantly together with a significant improvement in physical function. Open-eyed, one-leg standing time. What's that? Single leg stance with your eyes open. Sit to stand motion. That's the ability to go from a seated position standing up so you can ambulate, so that you don't want to sit all the time. And the 3M, it's basically an assessment of how much you can get from one destination to another destination with the tug test. For body composition, visceral fat level and basal metabolic rate decreased significantly. Look at that. Read that again. Visceral body fat, that's the brown fat. That's the fat in here that decreases life expectancy. And basal metabolic rate decreased significantly. Although no significant change in body composition was observed in the physical frailty, pre-frailty group after the intervention, the significant improvements in several items were observed in the robust group. Isometric tongue lifting exercise can effectively improve oral function. Furthermore, it might affect physical function and body composition. So that's significant, all right? Tongue isometrics you should do every single day. And so If you have a tongue depressor, I usually tack a couple. You can come up with me. I usually have a couple together because one, if you got a really strong tongue, it's going to bend and it might break. You can use a couple, but like I said before, your finger or a utensil or something like that. So this is the one where you have to really be careful where you're pressing from and noticing the tension you have somewhere. So remember, we're going to do 5-second hold 5 times. But this is where what I like to do is I like to do up 5 seconds, down 5 seconds, right and left 5 seconds, and repeat 5 times. You follow? So let's start going up. This is elevation. Okay, elevation. So what we're going to do is pick your way. And I really want you to watch that you're doing it with your tongue, not don't do this with your head. All right. So go up 5 seconds, but don't kill yourself. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. Okay. Now we're going to go depress down. So here I usually put underneath. Yeah. Okay. And go back as far as you can. Tongue out and go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And what I want you to try to do when you're doing this is notice what happens with the tip. So this, a lot of people will try to curl it down. Okay. I want you to try to keep your tongue as straight out as you can. So I want it to kind of be like this. So this goes down and this goes up, not where the tongue is here and it curls down. Like, you understand? So I'm not so much looking for this as I'm looking for that. You guys understand what I'm saying? Okay. So try that again, just for a couple seconds, and watch the tip. So try to force it more from the back. Good. All right. Now we're going to pick right or left. I'm going to let you pick, because subconsciously you're going to go to the side that your brain wants you to go to first. And I want you to see how everybody picks a different side. I'm going to go to the right first. And that tells me this: Harry doesn't want to go to the left first. That's what that tells me. Okay. So what we're going to do is it's going to go this way. So now you're going to stick the tongue out. And here. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm counting to 5. I'm like this. All right. And then we're going to go this way. Right? Go the other way. This already feels weird.
I know.
See, that was hard, because what I want to do is I want to move my head. Pay attention to that. Right? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. And remember, don't stop breathing. How many of you noticed if you stop breathing? Probably a lot of you did. Don't do that. Okay. Now, how does that tongue feel? It probably feels, dude, I need a rest. I'm freaking tired, right? And you may even feel like tension and stuff here. That's good for you to know, because I have a lot of people who have chronic tension in the back of the head and chronic tension in the neck. And it's because this guy's so weak, because you're going to want to drive it from here. All right. Now, listen, we're going to try one more round of that, but only if you feel comfortable, because some of you might already be getting a little bit of a headache. So if you don't feel comfortable doing this, you just watch. All right. And I want you to pay attention to how this feels the second time around, as opposed to the first time. Right. And really kind of be, you and the tongue are one here, and don't stop breathing. Ready? Here we go. We're going to go elevation. All right. And not this. It's this. Go. Relax. Now we're going to do depression. Go. Relax. side, go. Relax. Last side, go. Good. And what I really want you to notice is when you're going side to side in particular, notice what you feel here, but notice almost how the intrinsic muscles of the tongue here start to take over. Did anybody feel that? Like, because if you're going to a side and the extrinsics don't really work well, then the intrinsics will start to take your tip into that way. So the intrinsic said, don't worry, dude, I got you. So then they do all the work, right? So the tongue is like, why when I go to the left, my tongue gets all mangled up, right? Because it's trying to do the job of the extrinsics. They're just helping each other out. So that's the case in point where your awareness of what you're doing is the most important part. It's called somatic awareness. If that makes sense. How'd that feel for you?
It was the sides where I could see my tongue.
Yeah.
Trying to compensate.
Exactly. So you want to be, near a mirror so you can see yourself and watch yourself and notice the changes. But the breathing is a big one. Most humans will stop breathing when they do a neurologically high threshold movement because they're so thinking about what they're doing that they forget to breathe. All right? Breathe, breathe, breathe. Write it on a Post-it note and stick it right on your mirror as you're doing it. Right? So that's isometrics. You would do that ideally, work up to 5 cycles, right? In a row, if you can, right?